Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I'm Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining once again. So, comedian Katt Williams has come out with a new Netflix comedy special called Woke Folk. Now, admittedly, I did not get a chance to see this particular comedy sketch show like I did with Chris Rock and made my comments on that, but I did hear a 2-minute skit or a 2-minute section of the comedy show in this article that I'm about to read to you, and it's in reference to his comment on reparations for black people here in America. And Katt Williams, he says we should get it. We should really honestly get reparations for black people. So I'm going to let you guys probably listen in on a little bit of that clip. So just stand by. I'm going to let you guys listen in on a little bit of what he actually said about this. So here we go, right? The best of my ability.
Okay. It is now time for black people in America to get paid reparations for everything that them and their ancestors have been through in American history. Look at the white people. What? Why now, Katt? Thanks for asking, white friends. I'll tell you.
There may be some foul language,
now.
so be
And understand,
warned.
white friends, I don't speak for all black people. But I do speak for all niggas. And you are not supposed to know the difference. Okay, this is so you don't think I'm playing. Black people, it's our money. And when do we need it? You see that, white people? We didn't even rehearse that. You see that? This is live, bitch. Do you understand? That's how bad black people.
Okay, I'm not going to let you listen in on all of that, okay? But it gets pretty rough. But in essence, he said in the entirety of that this money, tens of billions of dollars, have gone to Ukraine. And that money could have been given to black people, even in Los Angeles, he says. He said you could have given it to black people in Los Angeles. Now, when I heard him say that, it was hilarious. It was funny, as Katt Williams, it always is, right? But what I read into that was not so much that Katt Williams was supporting reparation in general for black people. I believe that Katt Williams is the kind of person, based on what I understand about him, is like, if you want something, you got to get out there and go and do something about it. You just can't sit by and talking about, you just give it to me, it's owed me, because by right, let's be fair and let's be realistic. By right, if black people in America right now should be given reparations for the ills of their ancestors, okay, then the same argument could be made with other nationalities whose ancestors have been enslaved. And quiet as it may be kept, but over 1 million Europeans were enslaved. I believe they were Muslims. I forget which country did it, but enslaved 1 million Europeans. They were enslaved. So how come these group of Europeans are not asking for reparations? Same situation and scenario in other nationalities. The Chinese were enslaved, Africans enslaved other Africans. Why aren't they asking for reparations? Why aren't these other nationalities asking for reparations? Why is it only blacks in America requesting reparations? Are we the most oppressed people in the history of humanity? I doubt that very seriously, okay? So in all fairness, other nationalities could be asking the same thing, but they're not. Only black people here in America yipping and yapping about reparations. And I think a lot of that is simply because the politicians, the Democrats, keep reminding us of it so that we can keep voting for them, keep them in office. But that's another story, and I digress. I think that what Katt Williams is really talking about is not so much that he's for reparations for black people per se, because he mentions in it, if you heard what he said, he mentions he really wanted to say there is a difference between NIGGAS and black people. There is a difference. And what he's basically saying is that this reparations money should be given to black people who are doing something with their life, okay? Who not just Niggas. That's what he said. He said, and you shouldn't know the difference, but he's actually saying you should know the difference. There's a difference between the two, because some black people call other black people that they despise or look down on or categorize as Nigga, the N-word. Okay, these are black people that have a ghetto mindset. They don't care about anything. They think everything is owed to them. So that's that group of people that I believe Katt Williams is referring to. He's not referring to black people who have an aspiration to become entrepreneurs, who want to go to college and have big dreams to do something with their life. He's not talking about those black people. Those black people he feels should get the money. But he makes the argument in the sketch that you're spending tens of billions of dollars to the Ukrainians, and I'm going to say something about America's what I believe was going on, in my opinion, even though I don't have direct access to information about that. But you're spending tens of millions of dollars to a country that we know nothing about, when you could, tens of billions rather, when you can give that money to black people in America and you can end the argument. Because what's one of the big arguments from Democratic politicians today? Reparations for blacks, right? Reparations for blacks, reparations for blacks. That's the big argument, right? But the counter argument is that who's going to pay for it, right? Who's going to pay for all this money, right? Well, you know what? In a roundabout way, what Katt Williams is saying, we can end that, in my opinion, we can end that argument by taking that tens and tens of billions of dollars that you give into a country that he stated is losing the war over there and getting their ASS's beat. That's what he said. You can give it to the blacks here in America, and people in Los Angeles in particular. And he said you can send those black people over there, and they will whoop them people's ASS in 2 weeks. And he's saying, look, we can end the argument of reparations for blacks in America by taking that billions and billions of dollars that you send into a foreign country and give it to the blacks here in America, and we can end that argument right there. You know what? Let me add my part to that. That would really, really help the Democrats out. Because it's the Democrats that's helping. It's the Biden administration that's sending the money over there. And Biden is a Democrat. So why don't you just take about $10 billion of that dollar? You'd have spent so far, according to the article, over $100 billion at least to Ukraine. Why don't you take $10 billion, maybe $20 billion, and give it to some blacks here in America? Right? Give it to them. That way, black people whom you feel that you're losing power with, you can solidify that power by giving them reparations with the money that you're giving to the Ukrainians. Use your head, Biden. That's stupid. Why don't you just take some of that money, give it to them, and you can end the argument and keep the Democrats in power? Because you ain't gonna, if you give $60 billion to Ukraine, and you take $10 billion out, you mean tell me you ain't gonna come up with $10 billion? Man, come on, stop playing. Because they don't intend on giving y'all anything. Black people, they just don't, man. Stop. That's why I say we need to stop talking about the reparations thing, because they're not going to give you anything. Okay? But that's what Katt is talking about. He's talking about, look, man, just give us that money. Give black people that money here. He's not saying black people, our ancestors are oppressed and we need that money, That's why he said the white people saying, why do we need it now? Because we're giving tens of billions of dollars to Ukrainians, and we don't know nothing about those people. Never met any of them. When you can just take that money or a portion of that money and give it to blacks here in America. And like I said, my add-on to that would solidify the Democratic Party, and it would tell blacks who traditionally vote Democrat, well, you know what? They really did something this time. You could beat Trump by giving that money, some of that money, to blacks here in America. $10 billion, just $10 billion would be, it still wouldn't be enough. But if America, watch this, think about this. Blacks make up only 13% of the population in America. Whites make up over 60%. 60%, 13%. So 13%, and it's like, I think it's like over 360 million people in America. So 13% of 360 million is like 40 million. You mean to tell me that you can't take just $10 billion out of that money that you're giving to the Ukrainians? You can't take $10 billion out of that and distribute it among the 40 million blacks? If you was just you could give every black person here, the 40 million black people here, you could give them at least $1 million out of the 10 billion, at least $1 million. Man, that would solve the problem. That would keep Democrats in power forever. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to take $10 billion or $5 billion out of the tens of billions of dollars they're sending to Ukraine and give it to black people in America and end the reparations argument right then and there and keep themselves in power. Because trust me when I sit here, I guarantee you do that, not only would black people who traditionally vote Democrat side with you, but some Republicans, some conservatives can be like, oh, man, okay, now I wouldn't. I'd take the money. You give me $1 million, I'd take the $1 million. I'd take it, but I ain't voting Democrat. But some others that traditionally vote Democrat, they'll take that money and they'll be on the Democratic plantation until the day they die. Because in their minds, man, you guys came through for us. But the Democrats are not going to do that. It's too much like right. They're not going to do that. You want to know how they're going to do that? Because they don't plan on doing it. All they need to do is say something to black people that they're going to do it, and black people will vote for them. Once they get in power, that's it. Now, another thing, too, in closing of this video I wanted to mention is the whole idea of why I personally believe that the Biden administration is giving all this money to the Ukrainians, tens of billions of dollars, okay, to the Ukrainians. Now, as I said, I don't have any direct access to why they're actually doing it, but I suspect that if the Biden administration, okay, if the government, the American government under the Biden administration is giving all this money to the Ukrainians, that there's some underhanded reason why they're doing that. They're not doing it because they love the Ukrainians. Oh, we just love you so much. Ooh, we love you. We love you. They probably don't even know them people, man. Okay? It ain't because they love. There must be some kind of underhanded means behind why they're giving all this money. I don't know what connections the American government has with Ukraine. I don't know what relationships they have with them, but something else is going on that would qualify them giving tens of billions of dollars to this country. And it isn't just because they're nice and they feel, they love the Ukrainians and they feel that they need to come in and help the Ukrainians. There's something else going on here. Something the American government wants in return from the Ukrainians. Something's going on. So we can argue and debate as to why they're giving all this money to the Ukrainians and we could be using this money over here. It's because the people in the American government have underhanded, they have some desires that they want or something they want from Ukraine. They could care less about what the American people think or want. Poof, be gone. They don't care about that. What they care about is what they're going to, the power and control that they're going to gain, that's, I suspect, by giving all this money to the Ukrainians. I don't know if they're trying to set up a proxy government over there and take over whatever resources is over there. I don't know. To spread their imperialistic ideologies, I have no clue. But I suspect that that's what it is. Because no one really fully knows why they're giving all this money. People say, why are we over there? Why are we giving all this money? The American government, the officials in the American government, they know exactly why they're giving it, but they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell us because most Americans would be enraged by it. But then, like, what we going to do? What we going to do? Rise up against them? I mean, what we going to do? Rise up against them? Create an insurrection? A true insurrection, right? I mean, that's not going to happen. They don't get care less. But that's just my spin on it. I don't think at all that Katt is saying that we need to get reparations. We need reparations. We need reparations because our ancestors were suffering from oppression. Let me give you my whole thing on this and end this video for real this time. Here's what I think. If they do get reparations, and I kind of hit on this a little bit because I kind of said Katt was kind of hinging on this. The money, if America does decide to give reparations to blacks, I feel the money should be given to black people who are trying to do something with their life. I'm going to reiterate that. I think it was Trump, actually, that was trying to create he was going to give a substantial amount of money to Black, I think it was called empowerment zones or something like that, where he was going to give tens of billions of dollars, I believe, to Black businesses and neighborhoods and Black businesses and infrastructure that would help build the Black community. Now, I think, and correct me in the comment box below, I think Biden might have crushed that or what, I don't know. But that was the plan. But I'm pretty sure Trump was not going to give that money to just a bunch of people that didn't want to do anything with their life. A bunch of people that, no offense to people in the ghetto, but a bunch of people in the ghetto who is not trying to do anything, who want to depend on the government and depend on taxpayers' money all their life. They don't deserve anything. But the people that's trying to do something with their life, but they're having struggles, they're trying to pick themselves up and they're struggling with the finances, but they're trying to go to school, they want to build a business or whatever, yeah, that money should be given to them. So I believe that if it's going to be any reparations on a personal level, I believe it should be given to Black people who are trying to do something with their life. They're in the process of doing something with their life. They're not just saying, I want to do something with my life. They get the money and spend it on cars and frivolous nonsense. But they're actually in the process of doing something with their life, and this money will help them get them out of the hole. So, yeah. So that's my words on that. Yeah, Katt Williams is hilarious, and he hits on topics that a lot of comedians are too afraid to actually do, right? But yeah, that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.